Turn around. Well, Moto Warriors, I just love this when you get a bunch of bags of trash in your car and then they close early because of the snow. But I don't know if you can see what the road's like down there, but the road is starting to look pretty bad. Yeah, it's trying to focus on the window. But now I got to turn around and head back with trash bags and go the other way anyway. So oh yeah, but this is where we just drop off the bags of our trash, is in those things right there, and then they compact them and whatever, you know, take them to the dump site itself. And then those bins back there are for like recycled stuff, but I don't know how much people really do the recycle bins. I mean, I try to, but you know, but yeah, you can see that. I don't know if you can see the slush down in there. That'll freeze up. This will be nasty. But yeah, well, when I was a kid, we used to take, I gotta watch for traffic coming the other way here. When I was a kid, we used to actually take our trash to a dump, and it was pretty cool because, you know, they didn't have a gate or anything. I mean, you could go and drop off your trash anytime you wanted. Most people did it during regular daylight hours, but you know, some people would go up there later in the, you know, afternoon, early evening, and be real quiet and watch the bears come into the dump site. And that's what we used to do when we were kids. My dad used to take us to the dump, and we'd get there and then drop off our trash and then just sit there, and we'd sit in the car and, you know, be real quiet. And then you could see all these bears just coming out from every different direction or whatever. They'd come up and start scavenging through the trash looking for whatever bits of food and whatever that they could get. And that was a thrill as a kid. But I tell you, you know, then you get people from other areas that don't know how to act around wildlife because they're from some big city, and the only bears or whatever they've ever seen have been in zoos. And they'll come up and hear that you can go to the dump anytime you want and watch the bears come in. And they'll be idiots and they'll let their kids roll down their window and try and feed marshmallows to the bear through their, you know, roll down window. And they had a few kids get arms tore off and get mauled or pulled out and killed. And, you know, some parents ought not to have kids. They're just that dang stupid. But that's what they would do. And then they finally, you know, put hours on it that you couldn't be there. And every once in a while, you know, it would get a patrol car come through there just to, you know, make sure nobody was there after a certain time. But people would still go up there and do stupid stuff. But they still had parents that would come up there and let their kids get out of the car and try and feed these wild bears. These are not like trained by people. These are wild animals. And they'd get killed again. And, you know, look at this all flooded out here. But people would get killed. I don't know if you can see that. But people would get killed. And then they finally started putting up heavy gates and everything, and to keep people out. And it's like, man, how stupid can people be? You know, I mean, there were signs up there saying after dark, you know, there will be bears here and they're dangerous. You know, it's like, well, you know, if you come to America and you can't read, or if you grew up here and you can't read a simple sign or look at a picture that shows a bear like it's eating somebody, you know, I don't know, man. I would never allow my children when they were young, I would have never allowed them to roll down a window and try and feed a wild bear through the window in the dark, you know, out at a dump site. That's just stupid, you know, just stupid. You know, they watch all these shows on Disney and on these wildlife channels and that National Geographic or whatever, and they'll show, oh, look at these sharks are really friendly, and you know, then they'll do something stupid and get eaten, you know, or get an arm ripped off. You know, it just, some of these TV shows try and make it sound like wild animals are not wild animals, and it's really misleading. They will get you. I know, same with bears, that they say that black bears don't, that they don't attack people. Well, Motor Warriors, something happened as I was driving, made me lose track of where I was at. But anyway, bears can be pretty dangerous. And they say that black bears don't attack people, but I know back in East Tennessee years ago, I knew a couple people that actually, a number of people that were actually attacked by bears, by black bears. They were bit and mauled a little bit and whatever. Nobody was eaten or anything like that. Grizzly bears, I think, will eat people. Black bears will on rare occasions, but I don't even know if I've ever, I can't remember ever hearing that in Tennessee where one of the black bears ate somebody. Most of the time they will run. They'll get away from you. And I know I've been out hiking back in the mountains many years ago, and I was hiking through, I was going down through this holler and out in the middle of nowhere, and just kind of walking along real quiet, had earbuds in my ear, listening to, I don't remember what it was, the Bible on tape or something, I forget what it was, but I was listening to something, just being real quiet and walking through, trying to see what I could see, and all of a sudden this bush about 10 feet away from me, this big magnolia-like thicket, just started shaking. All of a sudden this big black bear jumped out, looked at me, and made this, like, I don't know if you've ever heard a black bear, but they can almost bark. It'll almost sound like a bark when they do this, like, whoop. They snap their jaws and stuff at you. And then I just kind of like spread my jacket open and my arms to try and look bigger, and then it just turned and ran up the side of the holler. But boy, I tell you what, man, that scared the fire out of me, and I've had that happen more than once. And sometimes they'll do a bluff charge, and man, the last thing you want to do is to turn and run, because they will come after you. But anyway, I don't know how that got all sidetracked because of the dump, but that's what happens, But thanks for watching, Motor Warriors. Remember to live your life with the heart of a Viking warrior. Bye for now.